Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about tips to make a long distance relationship work. But before we begin, I just want to encourage you to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can know when there's new videos about life coaching, relationship coaching, nutrition, everything that has to do with your wellness maintenance. Okay, so tips to make a long distance relationship work. We all know that a long distance relationship can be difficult. There are even expressions in different languages about long distance relationships. I remember once when I was in a long distance relationship, somebody that I knew that was a Spanish speaker looked at me and said, "Oh, amor de lejos son amor de estúpidos." Long distance relationship is the love of the stupid. And I remember that at the time that sentence really hurt my feelings because obviously I believed in long distance relationship. I believed that it would work out. And so this was difficult for me. So let's figure out how a long distance relationship can work. Now, I just want to premise this by saying long distance relationships are like any relationship. They take commitment and hard work and communication to make them work. And so, whether or not they can work really just depends on the two individuals involved and if they want to make it work and if it's right for them at the time and place when they meet and have this relationship. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, the first thing that's so important in a long distance relationship, perhaps even more than a regular relationship, is from the beginning having kind of a clear idea of what your final goals are and if they are in any way similar. Of course, you can totally go into a long distance relationship with a carpe diem feeling of let's just enjoy this, and we don't really have to know if and when this is going to go anywhere, and that is totally fine if both people involved with the relationship are okay being in that place, or even if you're in a different place, but the person that wants more is willing to sit in that space for a while, that's okay. But eventually, a long distance relationship will need to have a goal. There's got to be a reason that we're doing this. Now, if you feel that the companionship that you get remotely is enough to support your life, and maybe even you prefer this type of relationship right now because let's say you're in a doctoral program or you work long hours and you really don't have the time for something that would also involve more of a physical relationship, that's fine. That's totally up to what works for you. But eventually, there will come a point that perhaps one of you or both of you wants something that is concrete, wants a physical relationship, wants somebody that they can spend more time with, wants somebody they can come home with. And so it's really important that, if you were two people that met on a vacation and this is just so great that you're continuing to talk, but you both know profoundly that neither of you would be willing to move or to change your life in any way, that's a red flag. Because eventually you could spend 2 years of your life in love and then find that you didn't come closer to your long-term goals. Now again, that's a decision you have to make with yourself. Because you could start out that way and after 2 years realize that one of you is willing to move and is willing to make the effort. So this is not a black and white scenario, but it is something to think about and to be aware of as you move forward or move towards this type of relationship. Make a fixed schedule for talking and communicating. You want to create a sense of trust and routine within the relationship. And if you are in different time zones or even just a couple hours apart, this can be difficult if you don't have a fixed schedule in place. So for instance, saying, okay, every night, my night around 6 p.m., your morning around 8, whatever the time difference is, we talk. Then it creates a sense of routine and trust. And you also know that a certain need will be met with this routine phone call, that you have this from the relationship. So having something routine set in place is really important to just give that feeling of continuity to the relationship. Be involved emotionally with the details of each other's life. more so than in a regular relationship where you might just naturally know what's going on if you spend time together or you sleep over at each other's houses or you're just kind of there when things happen. In a long distance relationship, it's important to make that little extra effort to ask about details. So, and share details. You know, at the end of a work day, you might not really be interested in talking about your day, but if you're in a long distance relationship, it's going to become important to make that little extra effort and just tell the banal details of your day, because that allows your partner to feel a part of what's going on with you and to be part of the transitions that you're going through and really just feel like they're with you. And this will be a way for you to bond and connect and feel closer. And it's really important that you both make time to share and listen, so that you both feel supported and feel like there's somebody there as part of your life. You know, make it a point, on top of telling each other the emotional details, just have this habit of that talk that you have every day. Tell each other about your day. Tell each other about your struggles. Tell each other about your relationships with your family and your friends. Tell each other about your profession or your schooling. Really just involving each other of every aspect of your life so they can feel a part. The next thing that is really important, but sometimes it might be hard depending on your financial circumstances or the distance, is to have regular in-person visits and to, you know, every time you see each other, already start planning for the next in-person visit, because this gives you something to look forward to. It creates a sense of hope and positivity in the relationship, that you know that you're going to be seeing each other again and you know when it's going to happen. These in-person visits really enhance the quality of the relationship. They allow you to spend physical time together, but they also allow you to be a part of each other's world. Perhaps one time you're going to go on a vacation in a third-party destination that will be exciting and fun, and perhaps the next time you will be at one of the partner's houses and the following time at your house. It's good to maybe get a feel for each other within your own environments, to not only be on, you know, whirlwind vacations, because that might create a false sense of what the relationship is really like. That could be difficult later on if you guys do decide to move into a routine relationship. So, you know, staying with each other and each other's environment allows you to come closer and know each other better and really have a better sense of who you're in relationship with, while giving some more routine dimensions to the relationship. It's really important in a long distance relationship to set the ground rules, because there's so much more flexibility and freedom and time on your individual hands. It's really important to have that conversation about, you know, what are the parameters in terms of fidelity in this relationship? Are we exclusive? Or is it okay to go on dates or go on lunches? Or and if we aren't exclusive, is this something that we share with each other, or is it something that we're allowed to do for fun but we don't talk about? This is something that really needs to be talked about with both the strengths and disadvantages of any approach you might choose to take. So for instance, if you decide to open up the relationship, that might make it more feasible for some, because they don't feel like, you know, they're just sitting around waiting for somebody. They're still living their life, and actually put less pressure on the relationship and give it more chance for success. But for many other people, this could be a Pandora's box for, you know, for creating vulnerability in the relationship, for creating a situation where you are now getting attached to other people and taking that away from your primary relationship. So that is definitely something that particularly needs to be addressed in a long-term distance relationship scenario. And once you've decided what the ground rules are, really commit to this relationship. Now you can go into it, you know, lightheartedly and say, well, because it is long distance, because we never expected to be in this, we want to keep this easygoing. But if it's something that you see a potential for and that you want to have success, at one point you're going to need to commit to it. Whether that commitment means I'm going to commit to making this phone call every day. I'm going to commit to, you know, open communication. I'm going to commit to these trips where we see each other. I'm going to commit to, you know, writing that you're my partner on my social media so that, you know, I don't open myself up to other flirtation opportunities. All of those ways are ways that you can commit to it, because, you know, we know in anything we do that the things that we commit to, we tend to have a better outcome. So if it's important to you, you probably are going to need to make that decision at one point as to whether or not you're committing to the success of this, so that when there are hiccups on the road, whether it's, wow, you know, I am sick of waiting, or there's, you know, somebody attractive in your office that's flirting with you, that you've kind of decided what your long-term priority is. You know, another thing that's really important in long-distance relationship is to have intimate conversations. Because there isn't that physical contact, you can create that intimacy, you know, through your conversations, through your video conversations, so that aspect of man-woman is there, so that you have that bond. And do things together. You know, nowadays our technologies are so wonderful. You can watch a movie together online. You can play a game together online. Do all kinds of you can paint together and listen to music together. Do creative things together to really enhance the experience. And finally, at one point, if you see that this is a really meaningful relationship to you both, start talking about your goals and see if you're on the same page. Set a goal, even if it's only 2 years out. But okay, in 2 years, I finish, you know, my art school. I would be willing to move to you. Because I'd like to know that within 2 years we're going to be living in the same place. Or, you know, maybe that's too long. Maybe you think, I don't think I'm going to last another more than 3 or 6 more months in a long distance relationship. So I'd like us to start discussing if there's a way that within the next 3 months we can be in the same place, or maybe not the same place, but move an hour closer to each other so that we can see each other every other weekend instead of once a month. You know, things of this nature. So next, I'd really appreciate if you could share your own observations if you've been in a long-term relationship, what helped or what hurt that relationship, or if you're currently in a long-distance relationship, what you've learned, so that we can all grow and learn from each other about how to do relationships better. Wishing you many blessings.